Hey guys, Brendan here, and behind me you can see a partial bit of a 40-gallon aquarium. Now that's not what this video is about. That will be coming up in a future video, but I got myself a birthday present. Today's my birthday, and I got myself a little gift. Now, I got myself my favorite species of isopod, and those are Rubber Ducky Isopods. Yep, they're expensive.
I'm in danger!
But I'm happy to have them, and I plan on producing plenty more of them and having a bunch of little colonies, so I can't wait. I am excited. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, so right here I have my Rubber Ducky Isopods. Yes, they costed $150. I didn't take that off yet, but yep, my little dudes are currently sitting inside of that cup. Now, I already have a container put together for them. It would be this over here. Now, this may look like a mess, but it really is only 3 components. The dirt here, which is this black part, let me get a good handful of it, is Enclosure. The yellow stringy stuff that you see is sphagnum moss. And then on top of it, for food, is leaf litter. Now, all of these can be found at your local pet store. This is pretty easy to put together, but you're probably wondering, now, why these ingredients? Now, I made a video, you can see here on the top right, of how to set up a basic isopod enclosure. And for these guys, it's pretty similar, just that these guys have a pretty high humidity requirement. So the reason why I'm using the sphagnum and the Enclosure is because I want them to have enough humidity. Now, as you can see here, this is pretty thin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top this off. I'm gonna be putting a little bit more Enclosure and sphagnum moss in here. And I'll be showing you guys also how to build something like this yourself. So give me just a second, we'll get right into that. Alrighty, so now first off, you're gonna need your bin. Now I got this little shoebox bin from the Container Store. I had a discount there, the only reason why I got it there, but you can find these at the dollar store. Pretty much any store that sells containers of any sort will probably have something like this. You don't need to have the most secure lid on the planet, but it is good to have one. Make sure it doesn't have any big gaps because babies and such can find their way out. It has happened. They're not really climbers, but it has happened. And that's it. Now, what you're gonna need to do is take these little parts right here, and you're gonna take a drill or a screwdriver or something. I will say the screwdriver is very difficult to get a good hole on this, but I'll take a drill and then drill right here, and right here. So do you wanna do 3 on each side? And then let me stand that up. And then on the top here, you want to do 1 here and 1 here. Now, most of your containers will look similar to this, so this should apply to any container that you use. But you could do a different variety for them as long as it has enough space for them to kind of walk around. It does not need to be huge, but it shouldn't be, you know, so tiny that you could fit it on the side of your desk or something, you know. 3 here, so 1, 2, 3, just like the other side, and then stand it up. And then you're gonna wanna do 1 and 2 here as well. Now this goes for most isopod enclosures, but for rubber duckies, that's, you know, what you gotta do. Okay, so I'm gonna move over to this one that I already have done to show you. I'm definitely gonna bore these holes out a little better just because they're not great. But these are the ventilation holes that I did. You can see there's 3 on that side. And then over here, 1, there's just 1 on this one. Probably gonna make a second one, but 1 should be fine as well. And then there's 1, 2, 3. Those are more slits than holes just because it broke on me, but it works too. And then back here, like I said, don't use a screwdriver. Didn't have a drill on standby, so that's kind of the result, but yeah, so it's pretty simple. All right, let me show you the next part. All right, next up, you're gonna wanna take your Enclosure. Now, this is gonna have to get wet. You can also use it dry. Now, this bag is gonna be used for my tortoise enclosure that I'm gonna be showing you guys soon. So I'm not gonna crack this open. Actually, I already have a bucket of pre-mixed Enclosure and sphagnum moss. Sorry about my finger in the top right there. So I am going to show you guys the next step after that. But basically what you do is you take this, you pour this bag into here. Just about 6 inches is preferred. That way they have enough room to dig. This is not enough. Actually, this would have to be a little taller, and I'll show you what that looks like once I top it off a little better. But essentially, you're going to want to put just Enclosure in here, and then you're going to want to mix that with the sphagnum moss. Now, sphagnum moss will come in bricks. I'll show you a picture here. And then you're going to want to put that into water, and then that will break up. Now, once it breaks up, you just take a handful clump of it, and then put that in with the Enclosure. And I'll show you what that combination looks like in just a second. Alrighty, so this is what the combination looks like. So as you can see in here, the orange doesn't really do it justice, but the brown part is the wet Enclosure, the bag over there that I just showed you guys. And the little yellow strings are the sphagnum moss. Now, sphagnum moss is really simple. If you buy a block of it, they'll have instructions on how to break it up on the back. Just basically you put it in water, warm water, you let it soak, and then it'll break up like this. And then you take the warm water, and you're gonna, you take the, you take the sphagnum moss, and then you kind of just pour it in with your Enclosure, and then mix it up. And it should be pretty moist. You can kind of see water sopping out of this. You kind of, for most species, you don't want it that wet. But rubber duckies do like a little more humidity, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. If it is, I can just air it out. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. And then you're going to want to take this little clump. Oops. You want to get your bucket, which I have here. And you're just going to want to take a handful. And boop. Make sure that's about 6 inches, and you're good to go. Now, I have this one over here that I still need to top off, so I'm actually going to transfer this over to there. But that's the basic process. Alrighty, so this is what it looks like. Now, it's pretty simple. And we got your Enclosure and sphagnum moss mix. This is the other container I was showing. I just topped it off a little bit. Now, the next part would be to use leaf litter. Now, this is basically my bag of leaf litter that I got from my local reptile store. You can use leaves that you find outside, but the big thing with that is that you got to make sure you boil them. That way, you're not bringing in any unwanted pests or funguses or weird stuff. So what I usually do is I take a leaf here. This one has a little bit of white growth on it, but it is safe, it's fine. And they'll usually eat that off anyways. So you just want to go ahead and crumble that up, and then just kind of scatter it in. Now you might need a few different leaves. I got a pretty big one right here that I'm going to show you guys in a second. Ba-boom. And you just kind of want to mash it up. Make sure there's some good spread. They'll also use this as hiding spots. So honestly, as much as you can get on the top, works just fine. Alrighty. So just, you know, you can have a few big chunks in there as well. Big chunks, like I said earlier, just provide better coverage for hiding spots. So I'm just gonna, I'm doing this one-handed, so I'm making a massive mess, but you guys kind of get the gist. Just take these pieces and crumble them up, put them in. I'm gonna do a little bit more, then I think we are ready to put the isopods in. Alrighty, so after that, the next step is, as I said, just pour them in. I couldn't film that part just because I was, had 2 hands, but yep. And then they'll start exploring, like this one right here. And they'll just go kind of wander around being all adorable. They'll find little spots to dig in and they'll go crazy. And they're so cute. I could probably just watch them do this for hours, to be honest. And that's it. I mean, you just pour them in and then they're good to go. Just make sure that you are spraying it to make sure the humidity is still pretty high. Make sure you're putting leaf litter in periodically, and you should be good to go. You should see these guys thrive. That's the gist of it. All right, thanks guys for watching. This is Brendan. You're watching Funky Geckos, and hope to see you guys next time. That's so cool. Say bye, little ducky.